So I am one of the division managers here. I manage the reefer company, obviously Blackwell. So, you know, Blackwell today, 100% refrigerated. We've got 8 dedicated fleets now with reefer, which is great. But you know, like any of the companies, I mean, we're growing, we're trying to grow. Today it's extremely hard to keep drivers, retain drivers, hire drivers. You know, everybody's got their needs and their wants, and we're trying to comply with all of it. So, you know, even for you guys here, which I want to go around the room and you guys can introduce yourselves, but things are changing in the trucking industry right now.
Yeah.
Big time. So I want to talk a little bit about that, what's on the horizon for us, maybe even as a company, so not exactly specific to Blackwell, but our entire company. What we've done to maybe circumvent some of these slowdowns or in a lot of cases speed ups in the industry. Let's start off by just introducing yourselves. Go around the room, how long you've been with us, if you're new, where you came from, obviously, where you live, just anything. Start with you, go ahead.
My name is Joshua Goodman. I live in Western Washington, and I'm a new hire for the Walmart fleet.
Hermiston?
Yep.
Cool. You excited about that?
I can't wait.
Yeah?
Yep,
Have you ever done anything like that before?
I have. We used to do Walmart years ago for Snyder.
Oh, okay.
And so the familiarity of dropping hook and go in the store, stuff like that, it's all like.
Pretty easy.
Like, yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, welcome. You'll I think you'll enjoy that team over there. That's Jake. Did you meet Jake? You probably not. He's on vacation
No,
this week.
we did not.
So Jake is one of my counterparts, obviously. He runs the general commodities division. Good guys.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll really enjoy that.
Okay.
Well, cool. Well, welcome.
I'm George Jensen from Georgia,
Georgia. Where at?
Noonan.
Okay.
I've been here twice already, coming back the third time.
Is this one gonna stick?
Third time's a charm.
Third. Okay.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
I like it here. People's great, no problem.
What made you leave before?
My hair up my butt.
Those you, not us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I wasn't you guys, but it was me.
That's all right.
So,
Well, good. Well, welcome back.
thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right.
I'm Joel Blizzard. I'm one of the heavy haulers. I live in Havelock, North Carolina. And I'm a rehire. I previously got in a four-wheeler accident, so I was out of work for a little bit.
Oh.
Now I'm back.
Yeah. Did you get hurt?
Yeah, I broke my shoulder in 3 different places. 3 cracked ribs, collapsed lung.
It wasn't a collision with a truck, was it?
No, it was a four-wheeler.
Oh. Oh, you were in your truck.
No, I was on my four-wheeler.
Oh,
My-
four-wheeler. I
yeah,
keep
my
thinking that
ATV.
like a vehicle, car. I see. Wow. Over in North Carolina?
Yeah, Busco Beach in Greensboro.
Yeah. Ouch. Huh. You feel okay now though?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long ago
Great.
was that?
What, about 2.5 months ago now?
Really? So what are you pulling?
5 axle RGN. I'm gonna be on a step deck until I can get my RGN, but
Yeah.
that's what I'll be pulling.
Cool. Well, welcome back. Glad you're feeling better.
I'm glad to be back.
Yeah. Last?
Ed Voss, I've only been here 19 years.
That's it?
That's it. I can't figure out, I've been trying to figure this company out for the last 19 years and I'm still here. But I've been through some tough times and Combine's been there to back me every step of the way.
Cool.
So I'm sticking around till next month when I retire.
Well, you made it this far, right?
That would make Jason Card so happy. He keeps telling me he wants 5 more years. Right.
Well, let me ask you this: what's kept you here for 19 years?
I make a good living, the money's always right. There've been times when they could have taken my money because I screwed up and they didn't.
Yeah.
But in fact, they went out of their way to make sure I got my money. When my mother-in-law went in the hospital for the last time, I'd only been here a few months. They covered everything we needed to do. They backed me all my brother pass away. They made sure I got there and when I needed to be there. So it's just a whole attitude of the company.
Yeah.
And it's always been like this ever since I've been here. We've had our ups and downs, but we've always pulled together as a family.
Yeah.
So that's why I plan to stay here till I retire. I think
For
it's
another
next
30
month,
days.
That's not hard.
Hopefully you don't screw up in the next month.
There you
I need the money.
Yeah, okay.
We all do.
Well, we're introducing ourselves. So you guys just showed up. So who's going next?
My name's Jordan, and I met you, I got to listen to y'all come by, Aisling Trucking
Huh?
about, maybe 2 weeks ago, and
Yeah.
today was my last day there.
Cool.
So we got out of class at 3:00, and so I thought I'd stop by, and, I'm originally from North Carolina, and, so I got interested.
So is he?
Oh, North
So
Carolina?
Joel, yeah.
Oh, okay, what part?
By Jacksonville.
Oh, Jackson.
You know where Havelock's at?
Yeah, oh, no, it's the coast side. I never
Yeah.
go to the coast, actually.
I'm on the coast.
Oh, okay, I was in the mountains, the western.
Oh.
Appalachians.
you
But,
get-
yeah, so
I thought
I've
that
been
was-
living out here for
I
like
thought we
2
were
years
brothers.
now, and, I just had a friend I've had a few friends that drive trucks and family, and, so I got interested in it. Yeah, it would be, yeah, pays the bills, so.
So you just graduated today?
Yeah, I gotta take my CDL test on Monday,
Yeah.
so,
Congratulations.
yeah, with the
That's great.
state, so.
Good. What about you guys?
Oh, I'm Jack. In glass. And this is my wife. She just does all my paperwork and keeps me straight.
Yeah. Keeps you
Yeah.
awake.
That's a tough road to hoe.
Yeah.
But, yeah. She has to deal with my shenanigans.
Yeah.
How long have you been here?
About what, a year?
Yeah.
A little over a year?
Yeah, a little over a year.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming. Jimmy needs no introduction, right? Jimmy Young, reefer driver.
Well, I started in glass, moved to Blackwell reefer, went owner operator, and I'm back in the company reefer driver on milk.
Yep.
And I love it.
Milk jug.
If you can get on a dedicated run, if you live close around, like in the area for the dedicated, you guys will love that dedicated run.
Yeah. So Jimmy Hall's out of Fairfield, California. He does. We have an account that does Dutch Bros, the dairy for Dutch Bros. So if you had a Dutch Bros coffee, we hauled the milk. We do 100% of the dairy products for Dutch Bros.
I'm going to,
Yeah.
I'm going to
We've
Idaho.
hauled some of the Dutch Bros buildings too.
Yeah, I know that. Yep.
You said
that's
you're
true.
going where?
Going to Idaho, Dutch, McDonald's up there.
Oh, Idaho.
So we go to Eugene, we go to Boise, we go to Colorado, we go to Denver, we go to Mesa, Arizona. That's the hubs for the distribution for all the stands. So,
Good
Um,
deal.
And then you just got that new one in Brooklyn.
yeah, and that's totally different. That's Dairy Queen. So anyways, I appreciate you guys coming, especially having a student. That's awesome. So it's nice to see we've got a student here that's getting ready to get his CDL, and I guarantee you're gonna get it if you went to Aisling. And then we got the retiree that's been driving for us for 19 years. So,
I'm getting there.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so that's awesome. So,
Been heavy haul all the way.
yeah, good. That's awesome. So, like I was explaining before you guys got here, a lot of what I need to talk about is, a lot about what obviously what we're doing as a division. But a lot of this stuff has to do with, the industry as a whole. I don't know how, the heavy haul guys and the multi-axle guys are feeling it, but I know I talk to Scott a lot. I talk to his team and some of the constraints that those guys are going through over there on the equipment side too, and it's parallel to what we're dealing with. It's tough out there right now. Labor shortage is at an all-time high. It's a struggle for us, especially, in reefer, it's pretty notorious that you're gonna have long dwell times. Anybody that's ran a drive-in or a reefer knows, 6 hours, 7 hours is not uncommon to wait to load, to unload. It's worse right now. We have certain facilities, that they're, talking to our clients, they're telling us that, they just can't hire enough people. It's not possible. some of our biggest shippers, one of them in particular, Lactalis, largest cheese manufacturing company in the world, based out of France. Huge customer of ours. And we have such a good relationship with these guys. I know I've got such a good relationship with the head guys over there that if we needed something, we'd get it, no problem, hands down. But if we need our preloaded trailers loaded in anything under 24 hours, they can't do it for us right now. And that's crazy. We're so used to showing up and the stuff's ready, we hook, we leave, we go. They can't do it. They're running, he told me today, this morning, in fact, when I had a conversation with them, that they're down to 35% labor capacity in that warehouse. 35%.
That's a lot.
So that is 65% short of the staff that they need to service some of the largest grocery chains in the United States. That's Safeway, that's Costco, that's Kroger, Albertsons. They can't do it. It's not possible. They just don't have the staff to do it. So if I could get everybody loaded in 30 minutes or less, you know I'd do it. Everybody knows I'd do it. But our hands are tied. And I know talking to Chris, you know, I mean, she's having the same problems. Scott's having the same problems. Jake's having the same problems. It's created a shortage of drivers as well.
Yeah.
There's a major shortage of drivers.
Oh, yeah.
The reason why we're doing the Hermiston lane, Walmart can't get enough drivers. They're outsourcing companies. Whatever it takes, just send the trucks. Just give me the trucks.
We're $7
If
million.
Walmart can't hire drivers, everybody's struggling. This is an industry-wide pandemic.
We're about 7 million drivers short.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that, but whether we're 7 million drivers short or not, I don't know about that. We're probably 7 million qualified drivers short. There's lots of drivers out
We've
there.
got drivers out there that just can't qualify.
Yeah, we're short, good qualified drivers is what we're short.
That's right.
But yet, we still can't find a place to park.
I knew that was, I knew that was coming.
Yes, sir.
That's true. So, we're feeling it pretty tough right now. A lot of people don't wanna work right now. They don't want the job. And it's not just because of, you know, maybe a financial benefit of not working, but it also has to do with fear. A lot of people are still fairly scared of the COVID thing.
Yeah.
A lot of companies are now working remote. That's a really big deal. Even though the labor shortages in manufacturing facilities and the DCs, they're not able to work remote, but all of a sudden the opportunities to work remote are now there. So a lot of the entry level positions are now escalating to a non-entry level position because all of a sudden they are available.
Yeah.
So, you know, I read this article that was telling me, that was talking about obviously the labor shortage in the entry level positions. This is manufacturing. So even say Caterpillar, they are hiring entry level personnel for manufacturing, right? Assembly. This is an assembly line, it is entry level, okay? But the opportunities today for a non-entry level position are so high that the skilled workers, like say in manufacturing or assembly, is now having opportunities to actually advance their career into something not entry level. So now what that leaves us with is it's leaving us with very entry level personnel. That's the employment rate of teenagers is at an all-time high today. All-time high. It's funny that I even read this article because I was actually approached by some of my personal friends as kids, right? They're 16, 17 years old, and they want to go to work, which is interesting to me because it seems like today they don't want to work. But when you have McDonald's and Taco Bell advertising $16 and $17 an hour, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think I wanna go work and talk about it.
So, you're right. That's what I said. Hey, you hit 18 and I'm me. I'm there.
Yeah.
But what happened, guys, is it left this gap. And believe it or not, this gap lies in our industry.
Yeah.
It lies in the dock workers. It lies in the manufacturing process of, you know, for Blackwell, the food products. Very entry level, it's a, I don't wanna say low skill, but you know what I'm trying to get at, it's a lower skill set. We can teach you how to do this.
It's an entry level.
Yeah, okay, so the people that were doing it are now advancing their careers, yet unfortunately due to federal regulations, especially in the food industry, we can't yet hire the 16-year-olds to do it. So, you know, you need to be 18 or better. So we have this massive shortage. This is what's driving, at least Blackwell, and especially in the reefer sector and the dry van sector, is a major shortage of qualified candidates in order to fulfill the obligations for their customers. And that is our customer's customer. And just like everything else that happens in trucking, we typically get the end of the stick, right? It's all gonna fall down, it rolls downhill, typically smacks our trucks right in the side. So, it's tough. The conversations I have with our customers today is not about capacity and rates and all that stuff. It's about how we're gonna get through this. We're in a very unique position. And that's myself, that's Jake, that's Scott, that's Chris. We're in a very unique situation to where we really need to capitalize on what's going on in our industry right now. We have the ability as a good carrier that still has drivers, qualified drivers. Remember, there's a shortage of qualified drivers. We still have these drivers. That we're in a very unique opportunity to maximize our efforts with the customers that we have, and not only with the customers that we have, but actually go out and obtain new, higher paying customers. Blackwell, specifically, we have had a record amount of requests for dedicated fleets this year. Record. When I got here, you know, one of Mike's things for me was, go get dedicated. Go talk to Chris. Talk to her how to do it, you know, get dedicated. That was like, all right, I can do that. You know, I'm a good salesman, no problem. No. I mean, it's like, everybody's like, no way. Way too expensive, not interested. I mean, for us to get that first fleet out of weed was like pulling teeth. I mean, the reason why they were so interested, everybody knows where Weed, California is?
I've
The
never-
middle of nowhere.
I don't know.
There's two things there in weed. There's a gigantic water plant that makes bottled water, and there's a world-class recording studio. I don't know if people know that.
There's also a big lumber.
Yeah, but nobody cares about that.
Yeah,
That's just,
The recorders.
you gotta have $1 million of cargo insurance to haul lumber today.
yeah.
So anyways, there's these two things there. And so one of the problems that plant had, the water plant, was they ship approximately 150 to 200 loads per day out of that plant of Crystal Geyser
Oh,
water.
yeah, if not more.
Wow.
If not more, dude.
150 to 200 loads a day.
I was selling
So
it pulling them out too.
when all you have there is some crappy little lumber yard, a water plant, and a recording studio, nobody really goes there with a dry van or reefer and gets empty, right? So naturally, what they did is they were pulling trucks from Sacramento. They were pulling trucks from
Reno.
Eugene and maybe Reno, but not even so much Reno because of how much inbound and outbound goes out of Reno. Portland, even all the way up to Seattle. They were paying trucks to come down. So what happened was when we approached them, we said, you know, hey, you're giving us this one load and load here, load there, and you're tendering it over, what we call tendering it over. And it's set to pick up tomorrow, yet the delivery was 2.5 weeks ago. Like, what happened there? Like, you know, we're not Doc McFly here. So what they're saying is, it has been 2 weeks of us trying to get this load covered. We can't get it covered. We got 200 loads to ship out today. We're backlogged that much. So it clicked in my head at that point that it's not all about rate. It's about capacity. You gotta go solicit the customers that are either, number one, are so white glove, like Dutch Bros, that they have to pay whatever it takes to guarantee the product shows up. Or two, they have so much volume and so little capacity that they have no choice but to pay you what you need in order to come back empty. Crystal Geyser was that for us. At 200 truckloads a day average, with less than probably one truck getting empty in wheat a day, they needed our trucks. So that was the first one. And for me, it was kind of a breakthrough too, because I started learning how to pitch this dedicated. Not only was it good for the customer, but it was excellent for the drivers. Wheat's local for us. I consider wheat, that's local. What is it, 70 miles?
88 miles.
88 miles down there? That's local.
It's like an hour and a half, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's local for us. So for me, my biggest pitch to them was, I'm right over the hill. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
how you can't afford not to do business with us. And they agreed.
Yeah.
So the drivers, you know, for the most part, see home multiple times a week, which is a big deal for drivers today. You know,
Yeah.
home time is one of the number one reasons for turnover or lack thereof.
Yep.
So that was a big deal.
So, yeah, they're gonna jump on that stuff.
They pay us to come back empty. They pay us loaded and unloaded miles, no matter what.
Dang.
But it was dry vans. We didn't have any, so
Yeah.
we're all reefer. So we purchased some dry vans. We tried it. Anyways, so 2 years go by, and now this pandemic hits. Total shortage of trucks, shortage of labor, and now we've got, in the last year and a half, we have 7 more dedicated fleets for different customers. And high-end stuff. I mean, it's not cheap crap. I mean, this is high-end stuff that we're hauling. You know, Carestream, those loads are $1 million loads a piece. Each load we haul back and forth to Colorado for them, it's $1 million. I mean,
There you go.
they need consistency. They need a guarantee that we're gonna haul it and we're gonna be on time. It's important to us. You know, it's important for our company. You know, we remain a white glove company, a whatever it takes company. It's different than May, you know. I
That
mean,
was a joke.
Yeah, I know. Hey, just drive the truck, that's all we care about.
Let me put it this way, there were a bunch of us who had made our own rules, and we were the ones who made delivery on time.
Yeah, well, hey, you know, customers, are really lenient today. They're really lenient. If you pick up the load, we're happy. Just don't leave us, cause we're holding you up for 16 hours, you know, but 2 years ago, that was not the case. You showed up late, you're on their shit list, right? I mean, Safeway charges us $500 for being 30 minutes late.
Does Walmart too?
Walmart charges us 3% of the value of the load.
Damn.
It's gone up.
And that's if you're early. If you're an hour early, they charge you
For being early.
for being early. If you're late,
And
they
then
charge
late.
you for being late. So don't forget that.
That'd be there.
Be there. So, but today, the grocers are still charging us. They don't care. They still want their stuff. But our clients, the manufacturers, the distribution centers, they're pretty lenient. But to me, it's not a time to take advantage of it either. To me, is when I feel like we need to start cranking the coal. I mean, let's start feeding the fire here.
You know, it's like you were saying that they're wanting their stuff. I picked up last Friday at 6 AM. They wanted it that day in Idaho. I was there at 8:45 that night, and the guy said, "You don't know how happy I am to see you." Cause they were out of stuff, and they needed to load the trucks.
Yeah, well, if you short Dutch Bros milk,
Oh, God.
they don't make coffee, so. But anyways, so my point is today, I'm not interested in taking advantage of the situation. Yeah, we can be 6 hours late to pick it up. Yeah, we can be a day and a half late to deliver it. Well, this isn't gonna last forever.
Yeah.
They are gonna figure out the labor shortage. They're gonna get the people and the personnel back into the shop, into the warehouses. Drivers are gonna come back to work, cause we're gonna get creative, right? And when that happens, if you're not the performing carrier, you will be on the street. You will be out of a job, as in us as a carrier.
So
So
we just lost the contract.
we're gonna lose the contract. So today, yes, it's ripe for opportunity. And when we see new lanes come up and we see new customers and this one's tougher than this one and this one's better, I want this one. You know, we have that opportunity today. We can cherry pick what we're interested in. But at the end of the day, the crap loads that we're hauling, we've hauled for 15 years. And I wanna continue hauling those crap loads for another 15 years, because with those come the really good ones too. And if we can still cover these ones for the customer and do a bang up job when nobody else can, I guarantee we're still gonna have our cherry picking 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. And that's important. You know, and I know, you know, the other divisions, talking to Scott, talking to Chris and Jay, they're thinking the same thing. You know, let's take advantage of it, but let's maintain our consistency, let's maintain our on-time performance. You know, hiring drivers for us is tough, because like we talk about hiring qualified drivers, our level of drivers here, in order to hire a driver, is really high. I mean, it's not easy to get a job here. You know, you can ask Jason all day long, you know, especially today's a little bit different, but shoot, 2 years ago, I mean, it was 500, 600, 700 applications a day. You know what I mean? And out of those 500, they might, you know, Jason might say, you know, these 50 are good out of 500.
Yeah.
And out of those 50, maybe 5 of them were interested. And then out of that 5, maybe we got 1 into orientation. So really, it takes 500 apps, 500 different drivers that we look at to weed through and say, this one I think is a good fit. We're specific with the drivers we hire, very specific. You know, I always feel like, you know, looking from the outside in, I know all the drivers will sometimes agree, sometimes correct me, but I always felt, looking at, you know, the whole job as a whole of a driver. And I always felt like the driving part was maybe 50% of the job, if that. I mean, I've had drivers tell me, I don't even think it's that much. But in order to do a phenomenal job for what we want to see as a driver here for Combined and Blackwell, is driving is probably maybe 50% of the job. You guys end up being salesmen. You know, you guys end up being sometimes very clerical. You know, paperwork. You know, half the time you are assisting with dispatch. I mean, that's a lot of work encompassed into being just a driver. You know, going back on the those national carriers, they're hiring drivers. That's it, drivers. If you can tell which one of those pedals makes you go and which one stops, we're doing pretty good. You know, that's half the job. You know, and that's just not what I'm interested in. I know that's not what Mike Card's interested in. I mean, that's not what the company was founded on. You know, we're looking for guys that wanna work. You know, all the office personnel, I mean, they come in, if anybody's been in our dispatch office, they know. It is hot and heavy from green to red.
From the time they get there till the time they go home.
It is going nuts. You know, and for us as division managers, we put a lot of pressure on those dispatchers to be like that. You know, it is not an easy job.
No.
It is extremely mental for the dispatchers to get it right 100% of the time. You know, we go through orientation, like when I go out to the schools and stuff, we talk about, you know, what's the dispatcher's role, driver's role, stuff like that. And, you know, the dispatchers have to understand regulations. And really, they gotta understand it better than a driver. E-logs, hours of service, most of the time, actually 100% of the time, they need to understand hours of service better than a driver. You know? And a lot of times they do. You know, the driver's very, very good at managing their day, because that's what we hired for. You're very good at managing your logs and your dispatch. And the dispatchers have to do it, well, for Blackwell, 160 times a day. 160 different logs, you know? So we put a ton of pressure on them to not only know it, but get it right 100% of the time. Because at the end of the day, if the driver fails and it's your fault, it's your butt, not the driver's. So, you know, that is important for us. But part of the job role of our drivers too is to be the checks and balances for the dispatchers. And we try and have that family mentality, I guess. You know, we screw up. We're a human. You know, just like drivers.
Argue amongst ourselves,
What's that?
argue amongst ourselves.
Argue amongst ourselves?
I do it every day.
I mean, that's I personally think that's healthy. I really do.
I even argue with the dogs.
Well,
I do, because
that may be a separate problem, Jimmy. Don't be arguing with inanimate objects and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it'll sometimes be fun, but sometimes it can be real stressful, especially in the heavy haul into this.
Sure, absolutely.
you got all kinds of good things, you got.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a defining point though, you know what I mean, when those situations come up, because there's stressful situations in every division, in every truck. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's reefer, drive-in, you know, glass, you know, general commodities, multi-axle, it don't matter. There's gonna be stressful situations everywhere. But the defining point is how we handle the situation. Today, you could get in an argument with your dispatcher, you can get in an argument with myself, Randy, I don't know, anybody. And if you are upset about that conversation, you could leave out of here and probably be in somebody else's orientation tomorrow.
Yep.
Just the way it is. But that's not necessarily the environment I wanna create. What I'm looking to create is a healthy conversation. Did we screw up? Did you screw up? Does it really matter who screwed up? Probably not. But again, that defining point is how we carry ourselves beyond that.
Yeah.
Do you wanna leave? I mean, is the 1% worse than the 99 good? I don't know. So what I like to see is escalation. I call it escalation, is what it is. You can have an all-out blowout with whoever you want, don't matter to me. But at some point, we're gonna have to get over it, because we're gonna have to talk again, you know? And that's what we really encourage. Talk to me. Talk to Randy, talk to Jason, talk to a different dispatcher. I don't care. But at the end of the day, we are family. We have to get through it because we have a collective goal, and that's to make money. If you're not in a truck, I'm not in my desk, we're not making money, right?
That's correct.
That's correct. I wanna make money. You know, this is it's a job, it's a rewarding job. It can be very rewarding, it can be very stressful. For the new guys, you know, our company is very resourceful when it comes to that. Very resourceful. I think you'll find that there's a lot of people that are willing to talk and just listen. You know, we're big on mental health. We want people to be mentally healthy in the office and out in the office and the trucks. And that's really important for us as teammates. Sometimes I think the best conversations I have is when a driver's so upset at whatever, dispatch, driver services, recruiting, I don't know, they're so mad that it finally gets to me, and the only thing I hear is F-bombs, one right after another. They're screaming and yelling at me. And in my early days, you know, I'd yell back and tell them to calm the F down and whatever. But years later,
Yeah, being a supervisor.
a lot of times I feel like those are the best conversations, because today I just don't say anything.
You just let them rant, huh?
Just let them go. You know? Jimmy does this to me all the time.
You better stop and think about that one. Maybe the Trevor, but not him.
So, you know, but some of those have turned out to be the best conversations, because at the end, you got out, she got out, he got out, whatever they needed to get out, right? Okay, are you done?
Now let's get the problem figured out.
Yeah, let's figure this out. And then all of a sudden, now we're on a level playing field, You give them a little time to vent, they just need to yell at somebody, they don't care. And we try and create that environment that if you wanna yell at a manager, good, we're open to that. Shit, you can call and cuss Mike Card out, he ain't gonna fire you, guaranteed. I mean, I guarantee it.
But he's gonna find out why you were doing it.
Sure, but he will sit there and listen to you just like any one of us will. So I encourage that, I really do. So, for the new guys, like I was saying, that's a big deal for us. I wanna pursue that, think about that. Having guys that are returning drivers especially, that's big for us. Rehires is huge. One of the things I like about rehires is, especially in the student program, is they gotta go somewhere else and experience something else. Hate to see the students leave, because I know when it comes to students, they've never driven for anybody else, ever. We're their first stop. But it's always bittersweet to see those guys leave. Not only do we have a massive amount of money invested in the students, but typically they're phenomenal drivers. Because we invested a massive amount of money in it. Some of the best drivers in our fleet, hands down, sorry Jimmy, are students. Absolutely. The students are some of the best drivers we have. Accident free, timeliness, I mean, they're always on time. I attest that a lot to they're hungry. They got bills to pay. They got into this for the money, so if they can make $80,000, $90,000 a year, that's what they want to do, and they're driven to do it. We'll show them how. But a lot of times it's bittersweet to see them leave, but when they come back, it's a totally different person, huh? Yeah, you probably talk to rehires and stuff too, huh? It's like, wow, the grass was not greener. You know what I mean? So
Just wish we learned to get some more female drivers, man. We need more women in our fleet.
easiest is being recorded.
That's all good.
Need more women in the industry.
We definitely need more women in the industry.
And I think it's awesome.
Needs to
that
be
they
more
wanna get out there and
accepting
drive.
of
I love
it.
it.
That's the tough thing.
There was actually a time where my entire orientation, this was like a month ago, I think, was all female.
Was it?
Yeah.
Nice.
One was experienced, I think, and 2 were students. I think that's great,
Awesome.
because
I love it.
they're so much nicer to our customers than you guys are. It's so much nicer.
Well, geez.
They like clean equipment, they're always nice and clean.
Yeah, but they're not in the middle of some mud pit somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think their
Yard
cooking's
work,
probably
look
better.
very crooked.
Hey, don't get me
Are
wrong.
you? Oh, he's a cook.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's some
Somebody
guys out
once
there
told
that
me,
can
I don't
cook.
know if this is true, but somebody once told me that, they always got excited when they saw Deb's truck in the truck stop, Deb Mitchell,
Yeah.
because they knew they were having a home cooked meal, right? Cause she was a phenomenal cook in the truck. I think Rod's the same way, but.
Oh, Rod loves to cook on the truck.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
Rod's good.
He always puts up their, cooking 101. He's always, especially when he's got a student, that's when he does it.
Yeah, oh, yeah, so, anyways,
He does that to show students what you can do on the truck to live,
yeah.
and he's really good at it.
Does anybody have any questions? Negative, no? None for me? No?
You guys.
Maybe.
I
Yeah.
used to run Reaper.
So what questions are you accepting about the new?
You can ask me anything.
About like the insurance providence you said.
Our insurance program?
Yeah, the insurance program. Not
What
sure.
about it?
What does that mean? Probably you have a better deal with private. Maybe you get healthcare from Providence, or I would drivers do, or employees do.
Well, so our health insurance is managed by a company,
Yeah.
and that underlying company is Providence Healthcare.
Oh, okay.
One of the benefits that we have as far as healthcare goes is that we're self-insured. Which means the company financially is so strong that we have the ability to self-insure ourselves. So what that would mean for you is if you went to a provider, it allows us not to have any in-network or out-of-network providers. Because at the end of the day, our, I don't even know what they would actually be called, but they go and negotiate for us, and then at the end of the day, we write the check. So we are not actually paying a premium per se to the insurance company to cover all of our insured. We are that person. So it gives us a lot more hands-on of what we allow to be covered, what's not covered, how much we charge a driver. I mean, for a non-smoker, for a single non-smoker, it's free. We pay 100% of it. So that's how our health insurance
Quit
works.
smoking.
I guess I need to quit smoking.
Quit smoking, yeah.
Indeed you
Free.
do, Jimmy.
What's that, bro?
Indeed you do.
So you can go, you said in-network or out-of-network providers?
There is no such thing here.
Yeah.
Oh, just anybody?
Yeah, everything's in network.
Oh, really? Like-
Yeah, so basically what happens is, you go with a company like Cigna, for instance. Probably one of the most well-known, insurance companies out there, right? However, I don't even know if I should say it, but extremely corrupt,
Uh-huh.
right? So in-network for them is because the providers make it so, you know, they're, I feel like they're cooking the books is what I feel like, right, in order to get paid. So it's different, we're self-insured. So they're partnering with certain people in-network and out-network, who works with them better, you know, who's gonna help them a little bit more. For us, it's not about that, right? We're gonna pay whatever it costs. But we want the network to be as vast as we can because we're a 48 state company. You guys gotta be able to go anywhere. You know, when you're in Maine, and you need to see a doctor, you gotta go to the doctor. So there is no in-network and out-network.
But does that work in Canada?
Probably not in Canada. I don't know how that works, to be honest with you.
I've run every southern province up there so far.
Yeah.
It would work.
Have you ever had to go to the doctor?
No, but.
No. That's a good question. I wonder what.
Yeah, I've thought about that.
I don't know.
Cause as a matter of fact, I'm loading in Tacoma on Monday for Regina, Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Don't get sick up there.
Yeah, I don't get sick. We used to, before COVID, and I think we're actually gonna maybe start doing it again. We did too. We delivered, we loaded out of American Canyon, which is Napa. We loaded liquor and wine, and then we delivered to Edmonton, Alberta, every week. But I don't think, trying to think, I don't think that driver ever got sick up there either.
Just out of curiosity, how'd they run up through British Columbia?
How?
On that?
We
When they
didn't.
Going to Edmonton.
We didn't go through British Columbia.
Over
We went,
Montana?
we went through,
Montana, yeah.
we went through North Dakota.
Okay.
So we routed all the way out to North Dakota,
Why?
From where?
from California,
Not California.
yeah.
Going
Out of
to-
California to North Dakota and then it.
Yeah, so we went up to North Dakota and I'm trying to, actually, no, I take that back, we went through Kingsgate.
Yeah, that's BC.
So we went through Kingsgate, but there was something to do with it, how did we do that?
Well, no, there's a reason I ask, cause there's one highway up there, I tell everybody in heavy haul to stay the hell off. Even our glass drivers, when they go up there, they run all the way up to Crow's Nest and run across on 3 to 2 and up into Edmonton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we got.
Actually, you know what, I take that back, when we loaded the liquor in Chicago, we had to go through North Dakota, but when
Yeah.
we loaded in California, we went through Montana. And one of the reasons was because they were bonded loads,
Yeah,
and so Kingsgate wasn't able to recognize the bonded loads.
okay,
So we went through Montana, and then when we backhauled beef, and we had to go through Montana, cause that was the only USDA inspection.
so you're going through Cougs,
Yeah, I think so,
yeah, okay.
yeah.
But no, I've seen this, I've been at this long enough to been a few places and go, don't go back there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, there were
And,
certain,
I've
there
got
were
a
certain
couple-
things that we hauled into Canada that I remembered, you know, Kingsgate was better just because it was this
Well,
little
there was
podunk.
one year I pulled it when I was pulling the stretcher, it was one year in October, November, and December, all I did was Portland, Oregon to Edmonton, Alberta,
Yeah,
then head back to Portland. Pulling, 48-foot wheelbase, twin steer,
Hmm.
Western Star chassis
Yep.
for the oil field up there.
oh, right,
So, and there was one time they routed me up this other route, and I swear to God, I'd never do it again.
Yeah, I never had any complaints. In fact, most of the drivers love those highways up there.
Well, the way I was saying over Kingsgate, yes, I love that, it's a nice route.
Yeah.
It's this other way, it's beautiful, it's scenic, but you've got a lot of blind curves and you coming around there stretched and wide, it ain't good.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you gotta go way out just to make sure it's done.
Any other questions?
What happens if you're out in the middle of Canada or some states, like 11 states away, or maybe, Arizona, and the truck breaks down?
Eastern Montana,
Yeah.
We take care of your block.
Oh, okay.
Like if you break down?
Yeah, the truck's got an issue, and needs to get repairs.
Have you ever seen the TV show Alone? It's these guys that go up in the Arctic Circle and they're dropped off and you have to sit out there with nothing for 100 days.
Okay.
You're just brutal, brother.
It's actually a really good show, you should watch it, I'm dead
Let me put it
serious.
this way.
You're just brutal.
Well, let me put it this way, this is true story.
Welcome to trucking.
I blew a tire in Kansas, in the middle of no damn where Kansas.
I see.
It took them 5 hours to get a tow truck out there to fix my flat tire.
Couldn't happen.
But there was nobody around that could come to get it.
That's pretty quick.
I was south of Waukene, Kansas, and, yeah, okay. Little back road, I was actually sitting in a turn lane because there was no shoulder to set on.
To answer your question legit, we have a 24/7 department called Driver Services here. They're actually employed right above the shop. They're employees of ours. We have national accounts with just about every major truck stop. So when something like that happens, like you get broke down, whether you have a flat tire or, the truck is derating, it doesn't matter. You would call them, they would find a service truck to either come out and fix you or a tow truck to get you to someplace that can.
Yes.
And if
they're
you are
very
broke
good at their
down,
jobs.
if you get towed somewhere and you don't have access to the truck, they get you a room in a motel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they, trust me, the crew up there at night, especially in a situation like I was talking about, go out of their way to do what they gotta do to get you help.
Yeah. Yeah, you're never left out alone.
No.
I mean, as far as repairs and stuff go, you're never obligated to do it yourself. I'm not saying we don't have a lot of drivers that do a lot of the basic stuff themselves.
Little
you know.
minor stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's, a lot of times that's appreciated, I mean, it's like mud flaps. You rip a mud flap off, I want you to replace it. Like,
Yeah.
that's fairly simple. You should have a toolkit, you should be able to replace a mud flap yourself. But you do not need crowbars and lube and stuff to change your own tires, absolutely not. Yeah, we'll do that. Unless you want it, we really
That's all
appreciate
right,
it.
no problem, I've done my own tire change.
What's that?
I've done my own tire change,
Oh, man. Yeah,
17.5.
Yeah, that's probably tough. Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
they were
mean-
already mounted on the rims.
No, that's not bad.
They're really heavy now, man.
Yeah.
You won't get them back.
Yeah, that's right.
You have any other questions? Come on, you're doing great. You're on a roll. These are good questions.
You had a good start, come on.
In fact, you got a lot of experienced drivers here. They'll answer
Be one
for
of
you.
us and be sitting here.
Just don't leave us hanging.
No,
brother.
I'll
Don't leave us
sit.
hanging, brother.
That's all,
Last drivers.
Are you new? You're new, right?
dude,
Well,
He
you
goes,
ever-
he goes for a CDL test here when?
Monday. I
Monday.
gotta take my state.
So
So-
he's almost ready to get his license and become one of us.
So he goes to a school called Ashland, which is right over here. They also have a school over in Cape Falls.
Right.
And out of, I can honestly say out of every school that we recruit from, that's one of the best schools, hands down.
Where he just
Yep.
went?
Now, do they come,
I heard a little bit
you
about
said
it.
something about they gotta
Excellent.
go somewhere else to work for a while?
No,
No,
Okay, they get to come to work right here. Lucky dog.
yeah. So our,
Well, no, I've been through some rough companies.
Okay.
so our student program is definitely probably the longest student program that me and Jason have ever seen. So when me and Jason got together and we really, this came to fruition, we said, I'd rather it be longer than shorter. Let's invest more money than less money, because we wanna create
The long run,
success.
Yeah, long
So-
run is gonna save you.
Having, orientation, which is what you guys are gonna be done with tonight, they would go straight in Monday morning to backing class, and for a week solid, all they do is back the trailer up. That's it.
Yeah.
Earl puts you through some of the most ridiculous configurations, some of the most precarious situations,
But that's
and
gonna be the
forces
most
you to
helpful.
figure out how to do it. He not only shows you and watches you, but he tells you why you need to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because in this industry today, with guys like May training drivers, backing accidents are by far, in fact, the statistics, over 70% of accidents today are due to backing accidents. They're not forward collision accidents,
Yeah.
they're backing accidents, and they're stupid crap, like backing into a truck stop, you know what I mean, into a parking lot in a truck stop and taking somebody's mirror off. It's stupid crap like that. Yeah, see, he's done it many times. 19 years, he's done quite a few of them.
That's why I'm in heavy haul.
Just look at the map and then get back in, right?
So,
No, it's because with a heavy haul load, I've been taking up 2 or 3 parking spaces. I don't need to get into one.
yeah.
There you go.
So anyways, you should actually feel fortunate that that's the school you went to, because Bud he's got a class act over there.
Oh, is RCC a pretty good school too, or is it who are
Yes.
those? Oh, they are pretty good? Yeah.
Well, you graduated, you only gotta go through one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, they were tough. It was good. It was good. I really appreciated how they had some really good advice, and they had some good pointers, and then
yeah, and they run live loads, which I like. That's
They
very
They actually
unique for a
did live
school,
loads.
so, yeah, they
They
do
do.
live loads, yeah.
Wow.
Did you go with Jason out to school?
Ashton?
Yeah, this
Oh,
time, this last time?
No.
I think it was.
No, that was UCC. They went up to Umpqua. But I've been to Ashton probably a dozen times.
Sierra England wanted me to come work for them, be a trainer. They were bragging and boasting about their training program. You get to train your students and they're on the truck for 5 whole days. I said, "Where was?" I said, "You're
5
out of your-"
days.
I said, "You're out of your mind."
Who was
Bye,
that?
Clint.
Who was that?
Sierra England.
My
Oh, yeah.
wife's got a cousin, they train 2 people at a time.
No way, I'd never do that. No way. I used to train for Schneider, and they were on the truck 2 week minimum. And if I didn't feel they're ready, I wouldn't get close. No, you're mine until you're ready to go.
Yeah.
But I hear these guys' war stories, 5 days, 6 days, whatever.
Well, and in those 5 or 6 days, most companies, like CR England, I'm not saying CR England does this, but I'm pretty sure they do. In those 5 or 6 days, they're teaming.
Yeah.
So most of the time, the trainer is in the bunk sleeping.
Uh-huh.
That's really common. And then we
Really,
wonder
you
why we
sleep
got,
behind somebody right out of school?
and then we wonder why we got so many accidents, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got a question for you. Did Snyder still have the skid pad when you were there?
the
Green Bay, Montana.
They did have a skid pad.
Yeah.
That was one of the smartest things I ever heard.
Yeah, and you
I actually
never had the
think
most
it's good.
fun either.
Yeah.
What is a skid pad?
That's when you take a truck on it, they chain it to the trailer to the tractor, so when you skid, the trailer only goes so far and it spins everything around, and it's
Oh,
a Teflon pad.
It's like being on ice.
Yeah,
It
see-
teaches you how to
We should
react
do
to
one out here.
a jackknife.
Back then, it was that real slick concrete.
Where, here?
Yeah.
No.
They made it out of this real slick concrete and get it all wet.
Yep.
And when we did it, the trainer in the passenger seat, he had this box with air valves. And he could lock individual axles as you're driving down the road. And then,
Really?
whoop to do you go.
Yeah.
So
And
what
I
are they,
spent-
so
I
what are they
spent
trying
years
to
trying
train
to
you
get
how to
with them.
correct out of
I
it?
learned
or-
how to get out of a jackknife. If it's a tractor jackknife, trailer jackknife, you get to see how it actually feels from the driver's seat in a safe, controlled condition.
Yeah.
So you can adjust it, learn how
Correct
to
it if necessary,
react
if
in
you
real
can.
time.
Right.
That's
right.
kinda cool. I
That's
like
one
to
of the
see
greatest
that.
ideas
I wonder if they got,
I
they gotta have like videos of that on YouTube or something.
Yeah, just YouTube.
I'd like to see that.
As far as I know.
Actually, I wanna try
I heard
it.
Schneider had
That'd be
taken
fun to
it,
try.
decided
Let's
to
do
not
this.
do it
We got a
anyway, and
couple
got rid
empty
of it.
trailers out there.
See if Chris will let us do it with one of her glass trailers.
I got one right now.
I've been out here a long time, not just the 19 years I've been here.
Yeah.
But I can see these guys come out of training with Schneider or JB or whatever, these big carriers, they've been running the Midwest all summer with their trainer.
They
First
come
summer
over here.
guy, they send them through the Rockies on 70 and tell them they gotta go that way.
And don't,
Oh.
and don't know how to drive in the snow.
And you're looking at the Rocky Mountains and the snowfall and
Yep.
and instead of taking them around a safer way, they try and force them to go through that.
Put their through Eisenhower.
Yep.
That's Skid Cat is the
Unless it's,
the best,
unless it's
the best
that,
thing.
then they gotta go over the top.
It's gotta go around.
That was kinda cool, I like to see that.
Yeah, it's something
Yeah.
else. It
Yeah.
is cool.
Alright, does anybody have any other questions?
The training for here, how many, it's 5 weeks,
Yes.
and then 1 week of backing,
1 week of backing and you got 4 weeks out over the road.
So 6 weeks.
Yeah.
A week in orientation, a week of
Yeah.
backing, and 4 weeks minimum with a coach.
Yeah, yeah, so you have 5 weeks of driving. Yeah, so week 1 is orientation, that's this, right? You'd be a weekend here. You guys would do, the tour of the corporate office. You go through a chaining program. What else? He goes, you know, they go through a lot of the putting the apps on your phone, insurance. And so it's basically all the clerical stuff in
You're
week
paid.
1, and then week 2, you're driving in reverse only.
There you go.
It's fun, he makes it fun.
Very
Trust me, I
good.
there are days I could use that.
Was that backing class?
Yeah.
There's a lot of experienced drivers that do it actually. They come in through orientation, they fail their backing evaluation. We've had experienced drivers, you know, which is great, awesome. We encourage it, you know, very humble experienced drivers that have been with us for years that say, hey, I wouldn't mind doing it. You know, sure, no problem. And they do it and they feel better after the week. And it's good. It's good for
Problem is,
everybody.
I'm so used to taking up 2 spaces.
What's coming through the orientation class?
Huh?
Coming through the class here?
Yeah, the backing class. Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised, you know, we've had drivers with 10 years of over-the-road driving that cannot back up a trailer. You know, a lot of
They
these.
just only go forward, not back.
Yeah, I mean, I had a driver come through orientation and she had failed,
Sure.
backing her eval. And I said, well, wow, what happened? You got 5 years over the road. And she had told me she worked for one of these national carriers and their model and everything they do is drop and hook. Everything. I said,
but
well,
you
you don't
still
have to
gotta
put them into a
back.
dock? She's like, in 5 years, I think she told me she put it into a dock like maybe 5 times ever.
Wow.
Into a dock. And so I said, well, what happens when you get to a truck stop and you gotta,
Back out of the
you gotta,
hole.
you
Look for a
gotta
pull
back
through.
into a spot? She said, well, if there wasn't a pull through, go to the next truck stop. Well,
Wow.
we're gonna fix that right now.
Yep,
Well, yeah.
So,
I remember her.
yeah, so, but hey, after that, she was fine.
She did okay, huh?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So the 4 weeks driving,
yeah.
then,
You're on your own.
oh yeah, but, what, oh yeah, right, so how many hours are you pulling in, or miles, is it a set amount of driving with this trainer?
Well, the 4-week
Gonna be
program,
Hours or miles or,
I mean, the 4 weeks out with the coach, you're running live freight.
oh yeah.
You know, the coach is actually getting paid by the mile just as a regular driver would. You're not running anything different. We don't view you and the coach as anything different. You're not getting special freight. You're doing whatever we would normally plan for you. So our average, my expectation for our fleet is a minimum of 2,500 miles a week. That's my minimum. So you should be doing at least, 10,000 miles in the time that you're with that coach.
Mm-hmm. Is it,
And it's any
so
loads
if
we
you
got.
want to drive more, you could say, you could opt in for that, or? you could-
Well, if the coach passes you, yeah, you can drive for
Oh,
another
okay.
20 years as long as it's with a Blackwell truck.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you talking about the time of day
Yeah.
and what you can do in a day
As
and
long
a
as you got
week?
the hours during the day and the week running.
So you're restricted to what the
Yeah, I
regs
mean,
say
you
you
are-
can run.
Yeah, so you are running legally with the ELD and your hours of service. The coach is riding shotgun the coach should be on duty while you're driving. So he's burning his clock just like you are. So no, we do not team drive at all. The only instance that we would ever let the coach in is if, for one, he deemed you not safe as a driver, you know, which has never happened. Or if some unforeseen event happened and he needs to drive, you know, 30 minutes or an hour or something just to make the delivery happen, you know, or get it back on track. We've allowed that, but it requires permission. So, they're not coaching you if they're in the sleeper. They're not coaching you if you're team driving. They're coaching you if they're riding shotgun and talking to you and explaining the process and what we're doing, what you can expect. This is coaching. That's what we require, 100% of the time.
Man, don't get one buddy that's gonna be sleeping all the time.
Well, that would be me.
And that's why he doesn't coach.
Right on, Jimmy.
Can't help myself.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, I appreciate everybody coming. If you guys have any questions after, feel free.
Got,
Okay?
uh,
I know it's Friday, everybody probably wants to get wherever they're
It's
going.
beer time.
yep, gotta end every one of these this time of year with conscientiously hydrate. Think about it, especially you guys that are doing flatbed and oversized and working outside. Don't hydrate the day of getting outside. Consciously hydrate. Please.
Water and Gatorade, water and
Water,
Gatorade.
water, water.
Water, water, water.
Yep.
That's good. Did nobody else have any questions? All right.
It's been good having you.
Thank you.